Hello everyone and welcome to my Minecraft tutorial. This is episode 9 in a series on modular design and medieval buildings. Since the last video I've had about, I think 120 subscribers change, so or sorry, I should say I've had about 120 more subscribers, so this will be reaching a slightly larger audience. The way I've done this tutorial is a bit different from others. The reason being that there's so many different pieces, there's so many different kind of tutorials to give. So what I've done instead is, if you look below in the description, you'll see there's a downloadable RAR file which contains all the schematics for these. What I'll do mostly in this tutorial is show you around the various parts, and I'll also show you how to put them all together. I won't show you how to build each one individually. If people are having trouble, they can't use the schematics or whatever, then just leave a comment below and I will make a tutorial specific to whatever pieces you're having trouble with. So yeah, for the moment I'll just take you through. In the zip file below, the RAR file I should say, you can see there's a bunch of different things. They're all called Archer Castle, and then after that they have a description. This one is just wall. This one is wall hoarding. So our basic wall is pretty simple. It's stone, bricks and cobble, pretty much all the way. Then stairs on top to give the battlements a nice effect. So yeah, that's pretty much the basic wall. I've also put some torches in just to light it up. This one is called wall hoarding, and a hoarding is this wooden structure that you see in front, with plenty of arrow slits. In normal hoardings, you actually usually have murder holes by the wall so that people could shoot down, but I haven't bothered to include them. You can knock some in if you do want to. It gives an extra bit of fire, an extra bit of protection from the top of the wall. Sorry. This one is called wall tower, which is essentially a wall segment with a tower in the middle. Coming inside the tower, you can see we've got spiral staircase going up on this side, and then each floor has a kind of little landing with arrow slits on the front and both sides, which makes it pretty easy to cover the wall. One thing to bear in mind with these designs is that I've put in fence posts to give a kind of vertical look, but the thing is you can't shoot through a fence post, so if you do actually want to use this for functionality, and just knock these out. Down the bottom floor there isn't much. There is an entrance, which I probably well, the schematics are already say it, but you can just put in a threshold and a door. The bottom area, there's no window, so you can just use this for storage space. Maybe even put like a bed there for a very small garrison or whatever. So yeah, you reach this side by going up this thing, and then you can go out to the other side of the wall from here. Next up we have a bastion, which is just basically a piece of the wall sticking out. Sometimes it's kind of a circular, looks like a squat tower, but basically this just gives you a field of fire down the wall on each side. Moving on to the next one, we have a corner. This is a corner tower. In the schematic file, I believe this is called outer corner square, because I do have another outer corner which is a round one, which is just coming up. Next up we have a gatehouse, which is quite nice. You do have some murder holes here. So actually, if I just set the time to night, I'll spawn in a couple of zombies and I'll show you how these work. This is pretty much, these work like they do in real life. I should also probably get a bow. Sorry for the brief pause, but yeah, murder holes are basically holes in the ceiling on the way into the gate, and these don't seem to be working. Spawn zombie. Oh, sorry, I'm on peaceful. My bad. So yeah, basically the murder holes in the ceiling are quite handy, because if I shoot these guys, you can see they'll come towards me, and then that was a big mistake, but as with an actual murder hole, you can just take pot shots from above as these guys are coming through, and they can't really do anything about it. Both these towers are functional in the sense that they have a ladder going up and different landings, so you can, again, like I said earlier, you'd have to knock these through if you actually want to shoot through, but you get the idea. I'll just set this back to peaceful so that random stuff doesn't keep spawning. So yeah, basically that's the gatehouse. It's also got a little, what looks like a portcullis, and a smaller entrance so that you can actually put doors on it to make it functional. Coming over here we have its outer corner square, which is a slightly bigger tower. It's round. Well, round, as round as you can get in Minecraft, and it's got a pretty open kind of field of fire, and you can see it joins onto wall segments there. And yeah, spiral staircase up the middle, pretty basic, but you know, it's all part of the bigger picture, as you'll see later. This one is called inner corner. So basically, if you want your walls to kind of curve around like this, you could you know, have a little corner tower. And this is a pretty simple design. Unlike the others, it doesn't have a spiral staircase because I wanted to put actual landings with windows and stuff that you could see out. So yeah, that's pretty much the kind of wall segments. Moving on over here, you can see we've got a great hall. These were common in kind of later castles when it was very important to, you know, entertain other lords, other kind of nobles around the area. So you'd have a great hall, and this would be for specifically for feasts for everyone, so they could join in. We've got a kind of raised table up at the top, and iron bars in the bottom, and glass on top. That's called Castle Great Hall, I think. Kept it pretty simple. Over here, this is the main keep. So it's got lots of defensive features, namely shitloads of arrow loops, pretty much everywhere. Sorry for swearing. Yeah, over here it's got kind of a little bridge. The idea is this would be a drawbridge type thing, but you know, obviously if you want to defend your castle, you just knock it out. Just put stairs in there for now. Coming in, we've got a ground floor area. This is quite handy for you could, you know, maybe make like a small dining hall just for the lord of the castle, or whatever you want to say. This tower is a staircase. The other towers, you can access them from their various floors, but you can't travel up and down. And one thing to bear in mind when you're making spiral staircases in castles is that they always want to wind upwards anti-clockwise. The reason is, if you're trying to defend a spiral staircase in a castle, you want your right arm to have as much movement as possible. If I'm coming up around here and there's a guy around the corner, I won't be able to swing a sword at him. So that's just random architectural feature of Castles 3. Up on the first floor, you can see we've got a smaller room, which is a chapel, like a private one for the lord and lady, so that they don't have to actually mix with the you know, the ordinary folk. As you can see, the towers are accessible, so these would be perfect for small servants' bedrooms, maybe a small library, whatever you want to do. Over here you can see we've got a garderobe, which is a castle toilet, which is basically just a chute built into the wall. So yeah, basically you get like a kind of pile of excrement lining up outside the wall after using this for a couple of weeks. And then coming up to the next floor, this is kind of what's called a solar, which is the I suppose the private chambers of the lords of the castle. It's also got the side rooms coming off, but it's also got the biggest windows because it's a bit too high up to be shot at. It's got nice glass panes, it's pretty homely. It's also got its own toilet, so quite handy. Then coming up to the top, we've got access to the 4 towers. Just through here, they've all got ladders, and you know, pretty standard battlements going all around. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the actual different parts. That was just a brief tour. Obviously, you know, you can just take these schematics, you can have a look at them yourselves and see what you think. But actually, instead of going straight to MC Edit, what I'll do is show you some stuff I prepared earlier. Now I'll show you how to kind of put them together. So coming over here, you can see I've got a very basic castle. Well, I wouldn't really call it a castle, it's just a bunch of walls that I stuck together. I'll show you how to stick them together using the schematics. It's pretty easy. So yeah, you know, you can see we've got our wall with the hoarding, we've got some stairs going up, a couple of towers, bastion, gatehouse, you know, the simple stuff. And then if I fly further over here, you can see we've got a slightly more complex design, kind of an L-shaped castle, I suppose, just coming into the distance. What I've done with these, for each of the schematics, the corners are they're made of sand so that you can easily fit them together, which I'll show you in a sec. But you can see this one's got like an inner corner tower as well. That's a round tower, square tower, some walls with hoarding, some normal walls, a bastion. It's got the keep. It's also got the great hall. So you know, pretty simple use. Again, I just kind of whipped this up because I tried and tested various methods for giving this tutorial, but I figured this would probably be the best. So yeah, I guess I'll show you now how to fit it all together. We use a program called MC Edit, which is this program, and basically the way you use it is pretty simple. If I come over to a very empty area, what I'm going to do is press import, and that'll take you to your list of your schematics, which you've hopefully extracted. I can't actually record what I'm importing because for some reason the video skips when I try and do that, but yeah, I'll do it now. So I selected the keep, and basically this gives me a keep at the end of my mouse, and I'm just going to plonk it down. I'll click and hold nudge, press Z to make it level with the rest of the world, import it, and there it is. Thing is, it hasn't actually saved to the world. If you're not familiar with MC Edit, I have to press Control S if I want this to actually be in my world when I go into Minecraft. But yeah, basically what I'm going to do is I'll probably build a wall around it. You can kind of see the benefit of the sand blocks now when we're placing these schematics. Just click and hold them and make sure they're all aligned. And I can just keep doing this, and I can I suppose just continue the wall the whole way around. I can mix and match with different blocks. So for example here I'm using a bastion instead of a normal wall. Nudge that down. Maybe we'll put a tower on the corner. Nice big round tower. I'll rotate that using E. And basically that's going to line up with the next wall we place, which should be going along here. So yeah, just rotating this now. So yeah, I'll tell you what. Give me a second to finish off this castle, then I'll come back to the video. So yeah, I mean you can see we've pretty much finished the how would you call it, the kind of importing of all these different schematics, putting them all together, and it's not a bad result. If I press Control S, it'll save it to my actual Minecraft world, so I'll be able to go in and explore it and take a look around, see how I like it. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much the very basics of MC Edit. It's not a difficult program to use. I'll give a link in the description. But the idea of using schematics as a tutorial, which is a little bit weird, is if I just I'll give an example of, let's say a gatehouse, because that's kind of complex. So sorry, I'm not good at multitasking and speaking at the same time. So I'll just import this, nudge it down, and say you could do this in your own creative world. You can then take a look around, get a good idea of all the different blocks, see how they all fit together. I'll just deselect this so it's not in the way. And you should have a very good idea then of how everything fits together, and how these I suppose how all these different castle segments can fit together, what you can do to improve them, because I guess that's the great thing about Minecraft, is that it's more about creativity than anything else. So yeah, that's pretty much it for now. I'll hop back into Minecraft for a second. So yeah, I mean here we are again, and basically because we've got all these different schematics, it turns out okay. Next tutorial is going to be on fitting these things into your landscape, because obviously you're not playing in a perfectly flat world. So that applies more so to castles than anything else, because normal houses you can reshape the landscape to a bit if you want, but you notice a hell of a lot more if you completely level off an area and you're trying to build a castle on it. So that's pretty much what the next tutorial is going to be about, is how to fit everything in to your landscape, how to mold stuff around features that are already there, make it look nice and pretty. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this tutorial. So if you guys liked it, then please like and subscribe, or just don't do anything if you're already subscribed. And then if you guys want me to go into detail about any specific part of this tutorial, part of these different designs, then yeah, basically just let me know with a comment, and I will I'll try and get on that as soon as possible. I did take videos of each individual segment, but I think I might have deleted them to save space, because I think they took up about 50 gigs worth of video when they weren't compressed. So yeah, basically that's it for now. So I've been Mr. Archer MC, and thanks very much for watching. Goodbye.